Well, back here at home, we are following some severe weather. Meteorologist Danielle Moss joining us in the stream pod. We did have a beautiful weekend. I was actually out at the Fan Festival yesterday. Finally got out there. The sun was out. It was hot.
It was.
But now there's some changes coming.
Yes, big weather changes. And Faith, you're right. Yesterday was actually a decent day. It was the first official day of summer, and it kind of felt like it.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Yes.
It definitely did.
It was hot. It was humid. We didn't have much rain at all. In fact, here in Metro Atlanta, we were mostly dry, but we are tracking some big changes that will be starting tonight. Here's a look at our weather impacts alert. This is for today. We are tracking some pretty high winds and some heavy rain and some isolated showers and thunderstorms. A look into our live radar. What's happening outside across the southeast? We have this very large low pressure system, which is really a cold front, and it is marching across the southeast. You can see really heavy rain showers that are currently moving through the mid-south, several lightning strikes moving across the state of Tennessee, strong complex of storms moving near Mississippi, almost central Mississippi, and that is a severe thunderstorm warning, that big yellow box on your screen. Closer at home, we have a few scattered showers that have been developing over the last 2 hours across the state of Alabama, and even seeing our own showers and thunderstorms developing across North Georgia. Are we looking at any severe weather this very moment? No, but if we put a pause to it, you can see we have a few heavy pockets of rain, something we've been watching. In fact, as you take a look into your Dahlonega camera, this is an absolutely gorgeous shot, right? But here's the deal. You can see the peaks of sunshine. We don't want to see those peaks. You'd rather have a mostly cloudy day. When you have peaks of sunshine, that could fuel some of these storms as they develop because of that daytime heating. And right now, you're seeing the tale of two storms, or two weather stories, rather. You have your clouds with some rain, and you have the sunny skies. It's allowing some of that humidity to break through. So it's something we'll have to watch here. In Metro Atlanta, a live look into the airport, it is calm. If you have any travel plans today, I would say that you might be facing some delays later on. So just make sure that you are prepared for that. I always recommend people, if you are flying in and out of any airport, do the morning flights if you can, because afternoons in the summer in the south definitely could be seeing some thunderstorms impact your travel plan. Here's a look at our current temperatures. It's 83 degrees right now here in Metro Atlanta, and it feels like 89. That's that humidity, 72% humidity. Take a look into Covington. It feels like 94 there, feeling like 93 in LaGrange, feeling like 90 degrees in Dalton. So it's definitely a day that's already humid. Let's talk about these rain showers. What can you expect? In full transparency, I think that some of these models are not quite initializing and not really showing the full weather scope, but I'm going to talk you through it so that you have the latest information on what's going on, right? The next few hours, we will continue to see some of these scattered showers developing across northwest Georgia. Yes, we could be seeing some heavy downpours really starting to develop Monday, today, this evening, right around 5 or 6 o'clock for your evening commute home. But then around 6, I would say from 6 p.m. to really 11 p.m., I would be very weather aware because we could be seeing some really gusty winds. We could be seeing some really heavy rain, and it could definitely be a situation where we could be talking about some downed trees, right? And even as we go into the overnight hours, maybe even Putnam County seeing some stronger storms develop well later on into the overnight hours. But then Tuesday morning, you will start off mostly dry. But let's still talk more about this storm system. What's happening today? We are in a level 2 threat for strong to severe storms. In fact, if you've been watching our forecast, you know that since last night, they actually expanded that level 2 threat past Metro Atlanta. Before, it was north of the metro area. Now we're looking at the possibility to see those strong storms sink in a little bit further. Yes, there's a weather impacts alert. What are some of the things that we are looking at for Monday storm impacts? Gusty winds, heavy rain. This is why this is a big story. We've gotten a lot of rainfall in the last few months, so our ground is very saturated. We are also looking at some gusty winds that come through. Just like what we saw on Thursday, if we see too much wind strength come through, we could definitely be seeing some trees go down, and trees can fall on power lines, right? Take a look into our storm threats, kind of breaking it down by each threat. Our winds are going to be the top storm threat that we're going to be facing. Some heavy rain showers as well. Unfortunately, I can't rule out the possibility of a tornado, but that threat is very, very low. So let's get a little bit more into the weeds, right? We talk about that flooding risk. This is look at our excessive rainfall map that we look at to see, okay, what's the chance of us seeing some localized flash flooding? And I'm thinking northwest Georgia is going to probably be the area that sees the most of it because they're going to be seeing more rain showers. I would say training. What does that mean? Seeing rain over the same places over and over and over again, that definitely increases your risk for some flash flooding. Wind gusts, 25 to maybe 30 mile an hour wind gusts could definitely knock over some trees, and that's something that we're going to continue to watch. Why do trees fall so easy after rain? Because those wind gusts, especially with an already saturated soil, will definitely easily knock those trees over. So make sure that you are being very careful. I hate to say it, when trees go down, there's not much that you can do about it, right? We can tell you before a tornado, go into the bottom part of your home, get away from your windows. You want to get away from your windows, but when a tree falls, a tree is going to fall. We've seen it multiple times over the last few weeks. On Thursday, we saw them falling on the interstate. We saw them falling on major surface streets as well, causing some really big problems. So you want to make sure that you are being very cautious. If you have trees in your yard, now is the time. Once you dry out for your Tuesday and Wednesday, I would have them assessed, honestly, to try to see, hey, can my insurance get this together? Because even if your neighbor's tree falls on your yard, it's your responsibility. So you don't want to find yourself in that situation. Here's a look at our tornado environment. I said it's not a zero, but it is very low. So what you're seeing right now, that very light, faint gray color, no, that's not cloud cover. That's the really possibility of if we have enough instability in our environment to see tornadoes development. The question is not will it happen, it's if. Right? We are trying to make sure that all of these ingredients don't come together to see any tornadoes. We're not looking at an outbreak, right? But we could see a brief spin up, especially with those winds being so gusty. So it's something that we'll have to continue to watch. I don't think that that's our main threat. That's a very low end threat. After we get through today, weather impacts alert from this afternoon all the way through the overnight hours. But Tuesday is going to be hot and humid with very limited rain chances. If you see any rain, it'll be just leftover moisture from this front that's passing through. Wednesday will be mostly sunny, but another hot and humid day. This is the first full week of summer, and by the time we get to the end of it, it is definitely going to feel like summer outside. Yes, we're going to be tracking a few scattered showers throughout the rest of this 5-day stretch, but it looks like we have a good chance to see some days that could be completely dry. Like Wednesday looks pretty dry, partly cloudy. Thursday, models are trying to bring in a little bit of rain, but then as we head into your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, those rain chances are very limited, very scattered in nature, and then we start to dry out for Monday. This is another big weather story. What's happening after this front, these temperatures, they're going to be above average. And that means that we're talking about highs into the upper 80s, low 90s. And that's your actual temperature. That's not factoring in what it could feel like. And even as you take a look at your 7-day forecast, yes, we have a weather impact alert for today. And we are definitely concerned about these storms. So we want to make sure that you are weather aware for that. Make sure that you are prepared for power outages. Charge your devices so that you are prepared for that. But as we go throughout the rest of the week, those temperatures will be increasing, and so will that humidity. So Saturday and Sunday, if you're going to go out and enjoy all these great activities that we have across the city, hydrate. Start hydrating today. You want to hydrate before. You want to make sure that you are prepared for any of that heat and humidity that we could be seeing happen this weekend, Faith.
Well,